What I saw from today, what Mr. Harper said, is what he said before. I don't have any disagreements with what he said. I think if you listen very carefully, what I said there is I was very clear. Planned Parenthood has been defunded for the last 16 months. I have no idea if it's going to continue. That's specifically why I was encouraging people to get involved in the democratic process and lobby and talk. I have been gratified over the years to work in Parliament on a cross-party basis with this. This is not something that's specific to one party. In fact, we had assistance from Liberal MPs on lobbying on this issue, and I anticipate, considering who's likely to win what seats, will continue to receive it. This is something I care about. I've gone out of my way to reach out to moderate pro-choice people because there's things we can work at to do this with compassion and caring. And I think that's where we need to go. I understand the Prime Minister's position on it. This is a local position that I have as an individual candidate. A lot of Conservative MPs in areas like Quebec, more urban areas, are less likely to agree with me than the ones here. So I think that should be very, very clear. No, I have no clue if it is going to be defunded continuously afterwards, but I do know that it hasn't been defunded for. Everything I said there in that thing has been publicly stated before.
What do you believe your role was in that decision to defund? What role did you play?
I don't know, because it's still a decision that's going through and so forth.
What did you do?
I brought attention to the issue. I got to say, I really thank you journalists for actually reactivating it. Frankly, without the assistance of people like the CBC, the Toronto Star, and media like that, this issue is not talked about. So I really don't know. I do know that attention's been raised and people are reasonably thinking about it. And like I said, I really appreciate the cross-party support that we've had on it, and I do understand that not everyone agrees that this is a local thing, and I do fully understand, and from what I heard the Prime Minister, he said exactly today what he said before, and I have no problem with what he said. I fully support him, and again, they may make a decision differently than what I would like afterwards, but I have no knowledge.
Mr. Trost, what's ungodly about the work that an organization like does?
I'm pro-life, and I support life should be protected from conception to natural death. That's my position. Planned Parenthood does not share that. That's why I disagree with them.
Why is it ungodly?
I'm not at all sure what you're referencing to.
Well, you call Planned Parenthood and the work that they do in organizations like it ungodly. What do you mean?
I'm not totally sure in the context there, but what I was probably discussing, and I feel this issue is an issue not of though it's often characterized of religious questions, but broadly, but that's what I probably was referencing to, or I was possibly referencing to just saying in a negative way, referring to group. I'd have to actually read the quote fairly precisely to know what was in my mind at the time. I'm sorry.
About them affecting your government's chances of...
It's interesting. People always criticize MPs for not standing up for their own. You know, the public press can't have it both ways. Conservative MPs are either muzzled is the criticism, or we're rogue agents at the same time. You know, which is it? We actually do stand. We have been active. I've been active on a whole lot of issues. Again, the Prime Minister does not share my views. This is an issue which we have differences on. I would like him to come around. I don't think he will change, but I respect him, and I respect where the party's status is on it, and I know he respects how I represent my individual constituents. But as I said before, it has been defunded for 16 months. I have no knowledge of whether or not it is, which is why I was encouraging my constituents to speak out. One more question.
You say that you're happy people are talking about this. Should funding to Planned Parenthood be an election issue?
I think the broad range of issues should be an election issue. So I think what voters are interested in should be an election issue. And yeah, over the years, I have received a lot of mail on not just this issue, but other issues that haven't been adequately covered. Natural health issues, euthanasia. I got a bucket load of mail on that, and it got almost very no coverage. So I would encourage the press corps, you've all been very good here in Saskatoon, to continue to go out there and press again harder to see what's actually motivating people.
Sorry, Mr. Trost, I want to be clear. Is that a yes, that you believe abortion should be part of the discussion in this country during this election campaign?
I don't have a problem with it personally in my riding. So I don't know.
What about nationally? Do you believe it should be something that we're discussing as Canadians?
I don't have a problem with it if it comes up from membership and grassroots, and in this area it has. I honestly don't know how much it's being talked about in other ridings. I do represent the Humboldt area, which has a very strong history, as I pointed out earlier.